living with your woman. Now, I want my fellas to drop the comments because there's some knowledge and some wisdom to this. I'm going to drop my position and opinion, but I really want to give you the chance to engage and take it on for yourself because, again, me married 22, relationship 22, marriage at 24, kids, family, and all that. Having that experience, going through divorce, re-entering bachelorhood, dating, and having found the experience, I did the whole shebang, the burbs, up in the burbs, house on the top of the hill, all that good shit. Been there, done that. My mantra is masculine goes to the suburbs to die. To get old, fat, and die. And I don't mean that with anything harsh, but the truth of it is masculinity, something conditioned, mature grounded masculinity, conditioned to be isolated, conditioned to be harsh. You see, primitively, the masculine left the village, left the womb, left the comforts of the kingdom to go expand the empire, to go monitor the boundaries, to go war with the neighboring tribes. If you can imagine that, they left not knowing when or if they would come back. How amazing was it for her to see that man coming back over the hill and he's back, for the kids to see dad coming back, adventures and trinkets and gifts being brought back. You know, mommy and daddy had to get that time on because they miss each other, but you can feel the energy of that, right? There's something different to that in today's modern, sedentary, in the comforts of the kingdom, in the comforts of the home, working from home after COVID. It's easy, especially when living with your feminine, day in, day out, 8 hours sleeping throughout the day. Maybe you both work from home, maybe you both work another job, but all these conditions where you're constantly up under. It's been said so many ways, but an office, a place to get away, a reason to get away, period, is of value. And I say that because the deeper conversation, if you want your relationship to thrive, if you're one that has come to the conclusion that yes, there is space in my life for women and I want to make that available, I'll encourage you, no different than taking on life partnership and marriage, to take on the conversation for, do you want to live with your partner? I believe the phrase is LTA, living together apart. So it is life together apart, one of those. But the context is, just because you're together in a relationship or even married, don't just hop on the escalator. Don't just go for what everybody says. Now, mind you, we're stepping into the range of grown man talk. So no different than having multiple women, having multiple locations, multiple homes. This is big boy shit. If you're struggling, surviving, trying to get by, don't even worry about it. Don't even consider it because you're not at that level. And what I want to emphasize is, before you, let's consolidate, let's save money, let's move in together and all, she's going to love it. Sure, it may be the dagger in the back that tears things apart. Because unless you are maintaining a healthy space for the masculine cultivation and the female appreciation, feminine nature needs separation. Your feminine woman will not want to be separate from you at all. She'll want to be in your fucking skin if you got your game right and holding everything down tight. Now, is that to her your benefit of the relationship, the family, and everything? No. Now, mind you, especially if there's children involved, remember I said the access to. This does not mean that you're forever just apart, but a few days a week, a month, however it works for your balance, your situation, your life, there is absolute value for those young men that I'm really talking to. Because my men with experience, I'm sure you know, and if you know, you probably set it up. I know guys all the time in a relationship, decades strong, but you got some space, and I'm not talking about your man cave. Bro, you got to understand, if they can't miss you, if they can't not see you, if they can't wonder about you, that's where I say, from the man's perspective, femininity, feminine nature, female nature needs to have mystery, needs to wonder about you. If it is so predictable that she knows what you're going to do, what time, what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, because she's seen you, watched you do it day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, you're setting yourself up for failure. To you as well. Now, see, here's the thing. If it was two men in the situation, if it was two masculine energies, it wouldn't so much matter. We will be logical to know, hey, I like you, you like me, we're compatible, we work, we make life better, we've got a vision, dream, good, go. And that's how the world of masculine works. It's just that fucking simple. We're logical, straightforward, pragmatic. We don't want any of the other bullshit. The feminine spectrum of all of the emotion, if you know, you You can't make her happy. She has to be able to do that herself. So the thing is, the consistency is a baseline. For us, that's fucking ideal. We're good. This is settled. I don't need to do any extra work because we've done a good job. I've picked a good partner. You've picked a good partner. We've built a good legacy, foundation, everything that we're doing, it all works. Great, dope. That works for us. Femininity, what is that flat line? Dead, boring, dull as fuck. There's no predictability. There's no spontaneity. Do you know, and if you know, you know, in your courtship, in your gaming, dating, whatever you did with her, the longer you could draw out that story, the more attractive you were, the more valuable you were. It's no different in the long game. I'm telling you this, brother. It don't matter if you're a year in, it don't matter if you're 10 years in, it doesn't matter if you're 6 months in. 6 months doesn't really apply. But the context is, over time, to maximize optimal. I'm not saying it's not possible, but what we got to get is the reality. With that flatline expectation, with men wanting to go, well, let's just go to traditional values. Let's just be the feminine women that mom and grandma were. You will be burned at the stake by that shit in today's day and age. It is what it is. We just have to accept that. Can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. That's not going to happen. So accepting what needs to be of benefit was that in those older times, through the separation of what women couldn't do or weren't expected to do or weren't allowed to do, men were given space. We're at a distance. We're doing all the things that women couldn't do. There was much more clarity and distinction of the roles. Now, again, for good reason, that's not a bad thing to get rid of. We can be more flexible. We can be more fluid. And if you don't hold the value that there needs to be maintained a masculine space. This is why I say this. If you are going to live with your partner, live with a woman in your life, you need to absolutely be prepared with your bare necessities. You need to have your freedom and independence maintained. You need to have your projects, your goals, your building. Don't get lazy. Don't get comfortable. Don't think you can just sit your happy ass up with your woman. Be comfortable with whatever bonbon snacks, kick your feet up, relax lifestyle, Netflix and chill all day, every day, because you got the family, because you got the house, because you got the women, because you've already done it. No. You need the separation because masculinity needs to be among masculinity. If you walk away from the world of masculine, you walk away from everything that made you you. You walk away from everything that was the polarity that attracted her in the first place. She's drawn to who you were. Now, yes, she wants you to do it her way. She wants you to match her preferences. She wants you to show up as the man she wants you to be. But again, talks about it earlier, if you know, female nature, it's not about just doing what they want. It's not just being who they want you to be, because what they say they want is not what they respond to genetically, energetically, on so many levels. If you know, this just is what it is. You need to stay sharp. You need to have distance. She needs to have a mystery. You need your space to be away, to be in touch with life, to be in touch with yourself, to be in touch with your vision, dreaming, goals for what you're living for. You need to be working at something. You need to have that time away for both of you to go and live some fucking life, to come back together and have something to talk about. Do you hear these core elements? Again, I'm not talking about the symptoms and shit that we get caught up with. Cut the weeds, cut the grass. Let's get down to the root of it. This is shit that is missing, and this is why so much is not working. These are the elements and levels of things you need to consider before you play this game, before you step up to the plate. I just want to drop that last note of something to consider living with your woman. My own personal belief, I'm going to hold down for at home, my kingdom, and at the same time, I'm going to have my separate space. Whether it's a work office, whether it's a work live loft, whether it's a studio space, somewhere where I can get to go and do what I need to do a few days a week and get some space, to get centered and grounded into my energy, to be focused on who I am as a man, to keep my masculine energy sharp, to bring that back and have her benefit and feed off. It all works. Take two, call me in the morning. That is my prescription and recommendation that will keep your relationship, if you choose to take on this path and have women in your life, healthy, strong, and thriving. Think twice before you just decide it is of best interest for you and your partner to live together, to do life together, because those things are not the most optimal way, in my view at least. And again, with all these conversations, you are your own grown-ass, mature, masculine man. I leave it to you to make the determination, to make the decision, to actually look in your life whether or not it works, and proceed.